My name is Melissa Finlayson, and I usually game by Terreliax or Turtle Wax.
My name is Michelle. I play Ashambu on Scarlet Crusade. I'm in the Guild Eternal. That's a Resto Druid. I've always been Resto except for the time from 0 to 60 where I leveled as Feral before it was good. I don't want to talk about that.
My name is Pamela. I am from Canada. I recently moved to the United States. I play a Blood Elf Mage on the Gorgonash server.
My name is Nicole. I play a level 80 Resto Druid on Thrall named Abiza, and also a level 80 Warlock on Scarlet Crusade named Lilithia.
You know, in console games, you're by yourself, unless you invite your friends over and you're playing some sort of two-player game, you know, like Dynasty Warriors or a racing game or something like that. Whereas MMOs and World of Warcraft is a completely different ball game. It was definitely something I grew into, because starting the game, I knew nothing of it. I knew nothing of what happens at the end of the game when you reach the max level. I had no idea.
The minute I got to 60, everyone was talking about raiding and going to Molten Core, and it was like, you cannot be Feral, they won't let you in a raid. So I switched to Resto the day I turned 60.
Our first instance after we hit the max level cap of 70 was a place called Karazhan, and we got a whole bunch of our friends together. We Googled online to see, well, what do we need? How many healers do we need? How many DPSers do we need? Which way do we go?
Everybody was out raiding BT Sunwell, all that content, and we're off screwing around in Kara. But the thing is, we were doing it for fun. We weren't doing it to be a progression guild. We wanted to get out there and get that experience, and Kara was a really, really good place for something like that. I missed Molten Core. I missed, AQ when it was progression. I missed a lot of the content, and it was like my first real jump into actually having to have a purpose in this game other than just kind of button mashing as you're running through Stranglethorn Vale.
Naxxramas was out, so they took me there, and I loved it. I just loved it.
I normally raid heal just because druids are great with HOTS. They can blanket the whole raid depending on your glyph choices and spec, and I'm really good at healing.
I have a lot of respect for tanks. Without them, God, without a good tank, God, you're in such deep, deep trouble.
Well, the tanks are kind of like the center of attention. They are usually a party leader. They determine what mobs in an instance or raid environment or whatever it is that you're going after, you're going to attack first. They hold the creature, the mob, whatever, on top of them and let the DPS do their job, as well as letting the healers keep you alive so that you don't die while you're taking all these punches to the face by the particular mob.
I like challenging myself with new content, so I like seeing, like when we go to the hard modes and stuff like that, I'll, try to improve my healing for the situation, and otherwise I'd get really, really bored.
Even if we try to have some sort of strategy, it happens to be messy sometimes.
We went in and we must have wiped about 6 or 7 times just getting used to everybody's orientation around Algalon and all of that. And we finally, on our last attempt, the timer was down to less than a minute when we got him down. And to sit there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't think we're gonna do this. I don't think we're gonna do this. And like, I'm watching his health go. And I'm like, holy crap, we're gonna do this.
For that encounter, there's a lot of raid awareness that needs to be had.
That's like the most intense raid event that I think I've ever either healed through, dealt with, sweated through, hands shaken, trying to just make sure nobody else dies. And that was, I think, the most rewarding thing I've ever done in this game so far.
It was amazing, every boss is going down. The bosses we struggled the most on was Stadius. And it was really nice, when it went down, nobody died. So they kept going and taking down every bosses. And when they came to Kel'Thuzad, I remember there was so much noise. Everybody was talking, telling what's going on. Like, there's a frostbolt there, there's void zone, grab the ads, yelling at each other.
When you realize everybody gets it together and gets that raid awareness together and just kind of clicks, I think it really makes it that much better. You're just like, whoa, we can actually do this, even though we're frustrated and we've been wiping on it.
It happens to be messy once in a while, but it works.
And I really love my guild, and I love the people in it. They're amazing, they're funny on vent, they're always amusing. we kick them out when they put a toy train set down because it's horrible.
It's all the 25 persons working together to make one thing happen. It's thinking the world that we are in right now, I think that having this happening is really cool.
It definitely is kind of a boys' club. There's a lot of men that play, and no matter what anybody says, whether they're male or female, almost every single raid, guild, anything I've encountered in World of Warcraft has been predominantly male.
I'm the only girl. Sorry.
I think if I wasn't in a guild in a raiding situation, it would be different because you're kind of insulated within the people that you know and you talk to them, and both of my guilds had tons of girls in them, so it didn't really matter. But you know, if you were pugging a lot, and I mean, people make comments, people do things, but it's not like you have to let on that you're a girl ever. So, I mean, they don't know who's behind the character.
When I first started playing, I kind of hid the fact that I was a girl just because I had heard from, like, my best friend kind of gave me the heads up when I started.
Female characters, whether they're guy or girl, get a lot of free stuff given to them. That's a big stereotype.
It's bound to happen, and especially if you play into something like that.
That's another stereotype about girls, that they go to look for like things or like guys to take care of them or whatever, and that's totally not what happens.
And then there's also the stereotype of the chick is always the healer. That's just what they do.
There's always talk about, oh, girls suck at gaming, girls can't, you know, DPS, girls are always healers. I'm a healer, I don't care.
Apparently girls are not supposed to tank, I guess. They're supposed to be healers or whatever.
I haven't really known a lot of female tanks. There are quite a few that I've met online that are also, you know, kind of in the same boat I am. It's just like any sort of environment, you know, whether it be the corporate world or, you know, retail or anything like that. You don't always necessarily find a lot of women in leading roles.
There are stereotypes that you have to overcome. I know there are some guilds that don't accept girls because they're distracting. And I don't understand how we could be distracting if we're doing our job.
They're like, no.
They didn't exactly like female raiders because they had problems with them before. So you had to be really exceptional to get in it.
I felt I had to like push myself a little bit more because I know it's a video game. It's male dominated. There's, you know, the gender lines there.
Just like anything, there's the stereotype breakers. You know, there's the people who play any role and do it well.
In my Paladins guild, the 3 girls in there are healers, and they're always the top 3 healers. I'm one of the best DPS in my mages guild.
Back on Scarlet Crusade, my guild leader is a female, and she's one of the most amazing guild leaders I've ever had. And a lot of people are like, oh, you've got a female guild leader, that's gotta suck. I was like, no, she doesn't take any kind of nonsense. She'll lay the smack down, and you'll be out on your ass before you even know what happens.
There are certain women who don't mind taking charge and saying, this is how we're gonna do it, follow me, and you know, that's how the best tanks are, whether they're male or female. They're definitely the ones that have no problem grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, let's go.
You have to handle with the bad jokes. Often in trade chat, we're gonna see like girls don't play well, stop lying.
You have to deal with like all levels of humor, but that's the same for anyone.
Go back in the kitchen. It happened to me not long ago.
You definitely see a lot of guys playing female characters, but you don't always see a lot of girls playing guy characters. I've seen lots of debates on it in forums and things like that about, you know, why do guys do it? And some guys claim they do it to get free things because, you know, if you have cleavage in a pixelated world, you will get things to you for free, or, you know, things like that. But then there's also, you know, the debate that, oh, guys just want to look at a chick's behind, and I don't know if I believe any of it. I mean, to me, it's just a pixelated character, and it doesn't really matter what you play because it's all pretend and make-believe. But it's funny to see some guys get really defensive about it and try to masculinize it up, and it's like, get over yourself.
We're not dying to random stuff all the time. We're not whining all the time like they think we do.
We're a bunch of man hating what no.
I want to be considered for my skills and not who I am. Well, who I am too, but not in the real world, like the player I am. I think sometimes they should just open up their eyes and see, because most of the times they're just being, let's say, owned by those girls.
Don't treat the girls any different. You know, granted, you need a tough skin to kind of be hanging out in such a male-dominated field. I mean, I still laugh at the "that's what she said" jokes. That's just me, though, and they are still girls, so don't disrespect them just because they're a female, but just be a gentleman, I think, is the best way to put it. You know, don't look down on us just because we're female, because you never know when a female might be able to turn around and kick your ass.
Poor thing, I shouldn't have played with him. It's all my fault.